Hello everyone and welcome back to Belladonna. If you don't know who I am, my name is Paradoxical Intention, but you all call me Paradoxy. Last time, we went out of the dining room and discovered Dr. von Trauschloss's dead body, much to my glee. We found out that he was beaten over the head with this candlestick, and we got a tiny key. And now we have the rest of this house opened up to us. So I think, let's take a look at the grandfather clock. This house is very pretty, if not really, really gray in tone, or in color scheme, I mean.
It's an old clock. Tick-tock, tick-tock.
So, yeah, so far I'm really liking this game. Why are we floating? We're floating. I'm really liking this game so far, even, like,
Those are a lot of gargoyles. Leupold,
Yeah.
Brunhilde, Arthur, Maya, Lena, Ismildor, Ether, and Yosef. In that order.
How did you know that, though? But yeah, the character herself, the game isn't perfect. The character herself doesn't really move around the environment as nicely as I would like, but it's still a really pretty game. Let's go to the study. Who are you? Bookshelves?
That's a lot of books. Imagine you had books filled with every possible combination of letters. I wonder how much room they would take. There's a finite amount of letters, but unless we acknowledge a maximum length of a word, there would still be an infinite number of combinations, and the library would have to be infinitely large.
Huh, that's a way to look at it.
Look, a perfect sphere. Let's see if I can get two parallel lines to intersect. A stuffed raven atop a bust of Pallas Athena. What a cheerful decoration. Let's call them Annabelle and Dupin. Look at all these old toys. Wind-up dolls, music boxes, and mechanical trains all around. I think this used to be a private hobby of the eccentric Dr. Wolfram's, before he got into the whole corpse business.
Yeah, one of the things I like about her character is how she's personifying everything around her.
Another portrait. It says her name is Franziska Canossa, an old relative, no doubt. But I wonder how she relates to the von Trauerschloss family.
Typewriter?
I should sit down and write a story. But with all these journals and diary pages lying around, seems like I already may have. The doctor's
Another journal
handwriting.
page.
I know it well by now.
Oh, more doctor. Months have passed, and I must indeed conclude that the procedure was a success. The new Belladonna is certainly calmer, friendlier, and more docile. She gladly keeps me company in the laboratory nowadays, and she is polite and pleasant in everything she does. One is tempted to describe her demeanor as lobotomized, but no! When I ask her a question, she will answer in a clear and articulated voice, and she is responsive to all kinds of stimuli. Verily, I've gotten all I could ask for. That troublesome maid is gone, and Belladonna is back with me, compliant as ever. Her behavior is exemplary. Our lives are returning to the idyllic past I had thought lost in all aspects except one. No child giggles in these halls, but my research is proceeding rapidly, and the question presents itself. Who needs a womb to create life? I have made an unexpected observation, a side effect of the unliving condition. The household cat, a black beast and once Belladonna's loving pet, has gained a great mistrust for the latter's new form. The disquiet has fallen over the animal, and he will not go near the creation. Why is this, I wonder? Why is this lack of trust, this sudden and ferocious hatred? Belladonna's appearance seems to me not much unlike that which the cat was so fondly gravitated towards, but evidently the beast perceives a difference. As a species, the cat has popularly been associated with witchcraft and mysticism. Their eyes do indeed strike one as remarkable. It is perchance so that the feline oculus is capable of peering into a human soul and spirit, and so, when faced with the created Belladonna, is distressed by the lack thereof? Okay, so now the cat is like, knows something's up. Okay. Oh.
I'm not going near that horrible cat. I'll have to get rid of it somehow if I want to proceed.
Are we gonna have to hurt the kitty? I really don't want to hurt the kitty. Let's go into the living room. Oh dear.
This room looks completely abandoned. I suppose this is what happens when you're down to a skeleton crew of only one maid, no matter how fantastic she is. It's snowing outside. I have no concept of the current year, season, or even geographical location.
Well,
Another journal page. This one has drops of blood on it.
I, Belladonna, must think, remember, hands, fingers, right, words. Hate! Oh, I hate him too, don't feel bad. I hate him too. Let's see, well, I guess we gotta go to the backyard. We've explored everywhere else. Ooh, pretty. Although, we were in the living room and it made it look like it was daylight outside, but now it's nighttime?
This must be the family cemetery. Yet, baby Lucas rests in an urn in the dining room. Why is that? There's a bottle of milk out here. I wonder how long it's been here. At any rate, it's frozen completely solid. No wonder in this cold. One more Belladonna letter. Let's read about this Clara figure.
Clara Stiver was one of the several chambermaids we hired when we moved into the castle shortly after the marriage. In the warm light of recent events, I feel as though I could pick her out of a crowd already at this time, but I suspect that the truth is that she was just another servant, one of many, and I didn't pay her close attention that I now know she deserves. The time following the death of Lucas is hazy and unclear in my memory. I know I spent most of my time in an armchair in the living room staring out the window. I know now that this must have been a difficult time for the staff as well. My apathy left them without purpose as more and more of the household was shut down. Soon the cooks and stable grooms began abandoning what they wisely identified as a sinking ship. As more and more of the staff left the castle to seek employment elsewhere, there was less and less reason for the rest to stay, and the household was quickly decimated. But throughout all of this, young Clara never left my side, and she gradually shouldered more and more of the household responsibilities, making it her task to take care of me and nurse me through my melancholy. It was her loyalty and industriousness when everyone else left that finally brought me back from my condition. And indeed, her love. As I now sit down to write, it has been a long, unbroken chain of happy days. Clara and I have the whole castle practically to ourselves, and nothing to do but to enjoy our lives and each other. We sleep in a new room every night, cook our own food, and have picnics under tables or in front of the fireplace. We have no incentive whatsoever to uphold convention and norms when this house has become like a secure pocket inside the rest of reality. In truth, this touches on what I treasure most in Clara. Neither of us reap any concrete benefits from our union, neither financial nor societal. There is no embedded purpose of producing heirs. Our relationship exists solely for itself and as its own reward. I am already adopting her adorable habit of naming inanimate objects. The castle is not quite ours, however. Wolfram still lurks like a ghoul downstairs and occasionally emerges and spends the night up here with me. We have little in common anymore. In fact, he is like a completely new person. His mind is vacant, his stare distant. He's thinner than ever before and shivers with cold. Clara jokingly suggested that we might have him declared mad and sent off to an institution. An innocent idea in her mind, but with some planning, this act might eventually prove to be our surest path to finally reclaiming this old castle for us alone. Okay, so Belladonna was now planning to have him put in an asylum, which, considering he was trying to raise the dead, might not have been such a bad idea, but at the same time, that's kind of messed up on her part. Kind of. Oh.
The tombstone says Clara Stieber. This must be the grave of the wonderful maid I've heard so much about. I can't help but notice that it's been emptied. A note.
Great God! Why did I not then expire? Why am I here to relate the destruction of the best hope and the purest creature on earth? It was mere days ago, at the peak of our bliss, when Clara fell ill. She complained of headaches and tiredness, so I made a bed for her and laid her down to rest. For the next few days I cared for my companion just as she had for me, and nursed her with all my love and compassion. We believed it was just a passing sickness, and that would be over shortly. Each morning we thought she was getting better, and each evening we realized she had actually gotten worse. And then today I entered her bedroom. She was there, lifeless and inanimate, thrown across the bed, her head hanging down and her pale and distorted features half covered by her hair. In horror I beheld the body of Clara, my love, so lately living, so dear, so worthy. I rushed towards her and embraced her with ardor, but the deathly languor and coldness of the limbs told me that I had now held in my arms had ceased to be the Clara whom I had loved and cherished. Alas, what foul curse lies in my gentle touch! I have lost my only child to the darkness, my husband to devouring madness, now my lover has forever departed this world as well. Is my love truly as poisonous as my ominous name? Damn! Really gotta... Damn! This poor woman. Greenhouse. Okay. Ooh, it's nice in here.
It's a large tree. Looks very peaceful. Couldn't I have been reincarnated into one of those instead of being forced back into this mess?
Belladonna.
This little plant has caused a lot of trouble. For a flower, it's not particularly beautiful, but for a murder weapon, it sure is.
Lantern?
This lantern might prove to be the very first thing that actually manages to shed some light on my situation. I'll keep it.
Plant?
A plant, a natural object, standing in a pot, a man-made object. The plant can consume nutrition and grow bigger, and the pot can't. Neither of them can think. So what about me, then? I can think, I know that. But am I natural or man-made?
Well, let's look at these journal
More
pages we got
letters.
lying around.
Can someone tell me what happened to poor Clara?
Some time has passed since the demise of Clara. As I calm down and regain control over my emotions, it occurs to me that there are some mysterious circumstances concerning her death. The sickness that came over her was swift and sudden indeed. Admittedly, my own medical knowledge is limited, but it still seems to me that such an instant and terminal change in the bodily humor should not occur naturally. Could it be that she somehow ingested something that made her sick? But what? And from that line of thought, it is not too far a leap to ponder if she was murdered. It was long ago that I lost track of the details of my husband's deranged research, but I do know he handles lethal substances and obscure chemicals. How easy it would have been for him to slip something into Clara's food. So then, why would he do such a thing? Did he know about our affair? We were very careful. But perchance he guessed it, despite our efforts. He would not go so far as murder based solely on a guess, would he? The distressing truth is, I no longer have any way of telling what Wolfram is capable of. It is of vital importance that these notes should never reach any eyes but my own. Those are grave accusations I am scribbling down, and in ways of proof I do not even have anywhere to start looking. And yet, the possibility is there, gloating in its simplicity. Okay, so Belladonna has figured out that maybe her husband murdered Clara.
Look, a journal page was hiding behind the plant.
Did Wolfram murder poor Clara, or did he not? My situation has reached a point where it hardly makes any difference. I still cannot prove anything, but my conviction of his sin is only growing stronger. I cannot look at his face without seeing a murderer, nor not listen to his voice without hearing the words of an evil man. And the coward knows it. He sees the judgment in my eyes, and he shrinks away from it like the rodent he is. Guilty or not, he could not act more like a culprit if he so confessed his crime in the town square. If he was hiding in his laboratory before, now he practically lives there. We both realize that he lacks the courage to meet my gaze, and after that he simply stopped coming back upstairs. The villain! The fiend! He can rot away in his dungeon, forgotten by the world, his remaining days spent in darkness and solitude. I will not forgive him. How could I, when he has provided me with nothing but misery since the day we met? The living areas of this castle are mine now, and if my husband is incapable of even confronting me, he shall have no benefit from them. Curse my miserable existence. Ooh. Okay, so Belladonna has figured out that her husband is a murderous asshole. What's in the basket?
Nothing inside.
Aw. Alright, so I'm going to leave this episode here. So I will see you guys in the next episode, but in the meantime, have fun, good game, and bye!